Live from New York, it's the show that's going to get another tattoo. It's First Things First on my hand. Yeah. Is it time to start believing in the 5-2 Jaguars?
Tried to warn you guys. 11 days, 2 continents, 3 time zones, 3 wins. And now the Jacksonville Jaguars are amongst the elite in the AFC, and it's undeniable. If that is a fact side of the table, it is undeniable. Here are the 5-win teams in the AFC.
Yeah.
Let's show them to you. And by the way, quick show of hands if you had all 3 of these teams winning their division. Why is my hand the only one up? No, you did not.
No,
quick show
I
of
had the
hands
Jags. I had
if
the
before
Jags.
the year you even had all 3 of these teams making the playoffs. Oh, wait, why is my hand the only one up? In fact, quick show of hands if you had this being the 1, 2, 3 in the AFC. Oh, why is my hand the only hand up? I'm sorry. Well, okay,
Yeah,
well
they
then.
played more games than
That helps.
the
Okay,
Chiefs and
all right,
Dolphins.
are you guys facts guys or
And
feelings guys? Because those are the
Ravens
5-win
and everybody
AFC
else.
teams. But okay, you're right. It is, the sample size is too small. Okay, how about a full year? The Jacksonville
actually
Jaguars,
That's irrelevant.
over the
thought
last
you said.
year, are amongst the elite teams in football. It is undeniable. By the way, Bengals, Eagles, Jags, they'd have better records if they didn't have to play the Chiefs. And the Jags, of course, have played the Chiefs 3 times since November 1 of last year. They're 13-2 against everyone else. The Jags, over the last year, have 1 bad loss. The loss to the Texans. They've lost to the Chiefs 3 times and the Lions once. And the Lions, everybody thinks is excellent. That was amidst their turnaround. And then, of course, there's Trevor, who, yes, yesterday on a bad leg, on a short week, gutted out a win. But after a very tough opening 25 games of his career, it locked in for him. And are the numbers like, oh my God, he's the MVP of the league?
No.
No. But are the
Not even
numbers
close.
unquestionably a top 5 quarterback? Yes.
He's not.
Yeah.
Questionably?
Can we stop it with the last 16 games?
What do you mean?
It's this season.
No.
All right.
Okay, well, that may be
this
true.
season.
Brew,
Let's leave it
maybe-
at that.
Hold on. Maybe that's your graphic. But my graphic is Trevor after being 5-20 to start his career. And I know, and I'm saying the record because that side of the table tends to value quarterback wins, unless, of course, Trevor Lawrence is the one winning the games, in which case, before the segment even starts, your guys are taking shots at him,
thought he played-
saying a pedestrian performance.
Well, okay.
So is it, Brew, is it time to believe in him?
No. I mean, I believe that he's a good quarterback.
No, the Jags.
I don't
Time to believe in the
no.
Jags.
Look, I picked the Jaguars to win their weak division
Is it a
at
weak
the beginning
division
of the
now?
season.
Is it a weak
They
division?
will win the division, but it is a little bit better than I thought. But how many of the teams in the division even have a quarterback? Houston outside of Jacksonville, and they beat the Jaguars. All right, so the division's a little bit better. Indianapolis is showing some heart, but their quarterback is out.
And Indy's 3-1 when they don't play the Jags. And the
Tennessee
one
doesn't
loss
have
is
a
in
good-
overtime.
Okay, they'll win that division, but Kansas City's better.
Yes.
Cincinnati is better.
No, they're not.
Baltimore, Miami, and I'll even take Buffalo as better. And don't give me that. They just beat Buffalo. Okay, are the Lions better than the Chiefs?
Maybe.
Were the Colts better than the Chiefs last year? No. So let's not go with the head-to-head. That was known as the jet lag game around the
No,
NFL.
that was just
All
by
right,
you.
So that is number one. Nick, let me start with Trevor before I get to your mediocre squad. Trevor, I like Trevor not as much as you, but I'm a tad disappointed in Trevor.
Oh, give me.
I'm expecting Trevor to become elite. And for Trevor has thrown for less than 210 yards, Wildes, in 3 of his last 4 games. Trevor has how many touchdowns, Nick, in his 7 games? 8? Is it 8 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Has yet to throw for more than 2 touchdowns in a game? Does that sound elite to you?
Well, hold on. Can I ask a question, Brew?
That is not elite.
Well, okay. Do the Saints have a great defense?
Yeah.
Did both of you?
That's last
pick,
night.
hold on.
I just gave, but let me finish
Yeah,
my
sorry,
point.
go ahead.
I just gave you stats for a whole year. I didn't just say last night, even though he wasn't great last
I gave
night
you
either.
stats for a whole year.
All right?
You didn't
well,
like
I'm talking about this season.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm
For
talking about this
month
season.
and a half.
Last year's irrelevant. Half of those teams that made the playoffs may not even make the playoffs. Let's talk about this season. All right, in this season, the dude struggles to throw for 230 yards a game. Okay, so he's been mediocre. Let's stop. A lot of people, not just you, thought he'd be in the MVP race. He ain't. No. And then let's get to that mediocre squad. of yours. All right, because that's what they are. I've got a graphic that shows they're 9th in points per game. They give up the 16th most. They're 15th in rush. The defense against the run is actually pretty good, but the defense against the pass is horrific, so it evens that out. Pass yards per game, 14th. They're mediocre. Those are all middle of the road numbers, and that's what this team is.
So take Trevor out of it.
It's not the
How are they 5-2?
I don't know. When I talk, it's not the standard.
Not the standard.
No.
All right, I talk about what I see.
Yeah.
I talk about the production. I talk about the facts. If you just want to go get USA Today, then we'll praise the Jaguars for being 5-2.
I'm just curious, what more can we? I don't know, Hubs, if we can. And I know Brew, for some reason, wants to use the small sample size of this year as opposed to when we talk the Lions, we talk about how they were awful and then they had a line of demarcation. They've been excellent since then.
But
it's one of the reasons. Yes, it's one of the reasons.
Brought that up.
I brought it up.
Yes, it's one of the reasons people believe in the Lions. I know when we talk Brock Purdy, it was never lost, and that was including last year. I know when we talk the Philadelphia Eagles, it's not just about this year, it's about last year. So
they did get to the Super Bowl.
Yes, and I understand, and they both lost to the Chiefs in the final game of the year.
And even Purdy, they got to the conference championship.
And so again, I am just going to ask the question. Is there any other team in the league that could win 13 games in the last 11 and a half months that you guys would throw this level of shade at? Or is it because you are just so anchored to this idea that the Jags can't be excellent?
They seem fine. There was a fine game last night.
Right,
you left that game thinking, wow, pick six.
But can we keep it real?
Okay.
Can we keep it
and you
real?
Almost lost.
And I hate to do this to the young. I hate to do this to the young man, but it is what it is. Foster Moreau. Can we show the play? Nick, your boys were 4. Maybe they still would have won the game. Maybe they still would have won the game. But maybe they would have lost. I think we're going to see the graphic
Hubs was
Foster
take
Moreau
us to the
drop. Here we go. This would have tied the game. Likely. Yeah, he dropped it right in his hands. And I feel for the young man.
There's a lot of ifs.
No, but Nick, come on. There are very few plays in the NFL that you see like that. Very
Jacksonville was fine.
Okay.
They're fine.
So I'm just saying.
That's fine.
That's what they are. If you want us to dance, if you want us to play trumpets, we're not.
No, I understand. You guys are just gonna keep moving the goalposts. It's fine. The Saints, for the record, both of you thought would win their division.
I still think they will.
Okay, so you think
it's
Saints
a bad
are a
division
good team.
too.
Saints are a good team. The Colts this year are 3-1 when they don't play the Jags. And their one loss was in overtime, and I do believe they beat your Baltimore Ravens. The Jags, again, I will say it, have played one bad game in a year. The loss to Houston.
They looked fine last night. He ran the ball. I thought that was good. But they looked fine. It was a Thursday night game.
Your demeanor is perfect.
They looked fine.
Because that's what they are.
It's like you go out to a restaurant.
The 5-win teams in the NFL.
Not the best restaurant I ever been to in my life. Was it terrible? I'm like, no.
All right, that's fine. I'll just keep.
Would you go back?
2.5, 3, something, maybe.
Yeah.
On a bad night. Right, exactly.
That's
what it is.
Write home about it. Derek Carr.
That's your Jags.
All right, this is one of those times I'm going to give a take that I believe in my core, that I know is going to get aggregated and I'm going to be mocked for weeks, but I don't care.
Never a good idea.
I put 2%, 3%, 5% of the reason Foster Moreau dropped that pass on Derek Carr screaming at everyone the entire game.
Well, that's interesting.
I think when your quarterback, your highest paid player, your leader, is screaming at Chris Olave for doing nothing wrong when Carr throws the ball 15 yards out of bounds, screams at Alvin Kamara for running the wrong route. When you are a fringe roster guy and you have the game wide open, enough time to even think about it, he dropped that because of nerves. Now, the nerves of the moment, the nerves of this, are part of the nerves. Oh my God. I said before the show I was going to say something that you were either going to think was insane or be with me on.
I'd give you a 2%.
Yeah, that I am. And also, even if you disagree with me on this, this is a ridiculous way to act when you are a huge part of the problem, Derek Carr. And I think you agree with that, Brew. Derek Carr, he's got the curse of the dark horse MVP hanging around his neck, and he has been terrible.
Loved it.
He's been terrible. And amazingly, Carr's groin seemed to hurt him the most after he made a terrible play.
He might have got hit. I don't know. Did he get hit in the wrong place? Where
no, it was like a groin strain thing. But
that's what we call. Okay. Stop it with the Foster Moreau thing. All right, 2%. No. If it was 2%, if it was 1%, if it was 0.5%, then go be a carpenter. Oh. Go be an accountant, because you can't handle it. I mean, seriously, if the quarterback yelling makes you not be able to catch a wide open pass like that, then this ain't for you.
I agree with that, but my question is, don't we give quarterbacks credit when a guy has a rough moment and they go to him on the sideline, they lift him up, and then don't we say that's part of the reason? Like,
I'm
if
sure
they did it,
that since he dropped the pass, Derek Carr has probably talked to him and tried to give him love.
Are you okay with how Carr was acting yesterday?
No, I just wanted to address the Foster Moreau thing, which I think is ridiculous. But, yeah, Carr, I like that he went to the press conference, and he apologized, basically.
He's
he said,
a good guy.
I've been acting out. All right, and I agree with you, Nick. One, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. We've seen Tom Brady go off on the sideline and all that. But the thing is, obviously, Brady played well. And to your point, Derek Carr has been back. I got to be honest. I think Derek Carr's been their biggest reason they don't have a much better record.
Well, Dennis Allen.
Defensive. Okay, I agree, because he's a bad offensive coach.
He's a bad everything.
I think defensively they're fine. They're very good defensively. Yeah. And I think they have a good receiving core. But Derek Carr he's having one of the worst years of his career.
He's cooked.
All right, he's got 6 touchdowns in 7 games. They can't do a thing in the red zone. Like last night, how many times should they have scored touchdowns instead of those field goals? They're 28th in the league in red zone efficiency, and a lot of it is on Derek Carr. If he could just be the guy he was with the Raiders, then this team would be
fine.
Nipping at the heels of the Lions, I would say.
At the Lions?
Yes. I won't put them with the. I think the Lions are still slightly below the Niners and the Eagles.
Wow.
But I think they'd be right there in that group. That 5th, 6th place.
A little more Taysom Hill.
Well,
just a little more.
I mean, look, he's been effective.
That worked. Like, that's red zone. What are we going to do? Like, how about Taysom Hill? Like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, at the end of the game, Wildes, you mean when they had the timeouts, they're inside a minute, you're inside the 10? 100% agree.
I just saw it work. I saw it work 20 minutes
ago. He ran in untouched.
Yeah.
Like every other play, it's like.
It works. All right, let's head to Kansas City, my second home. Tail of the tape between Herbert and Mahomes. Well, a lot of the same. More touchdowns for Mahomes. Herbert expecting to bounce back. A few more. One more yard, yeah. We had a meeting this morning of confident Chiefs fans, and I took roll. Rudd, Stone Street, Tech 9, Wright. Has anybody seen Nick Wright? MIA. Where were you? We were all there, confident, talking about Taylor Swift.
First of all, Tech 9 would never meet with you. I hate playing the Chargers. I hate it. I hate playing the Chargers. First divisional loss of Patrick Mahomes' career. Up 14 with 4 minutes left. And somehow Phillip Rivers and his funky delivery is throwing a 2-point conversion with no time on the clock for a 1-point win. The only time Justin Herbert's ever beaten Patrick Mahomes. The Chargers, this is back when Brew didn't mind Brandon Staley's 4th down decisions, go for a 4th and 9 in field goal range in a tie game.
That was sweet.
Inside a minute. They pick up a DPI, they steal that game. Every game the Chiefs win is close. I think this is the hardest divisional game on the Chiefs' schedule. You might say, why would it be harder? Because it's in Kansas City, not in Los Angeles. Mahomes undefeated in his career in division on the road. None of those teams have ever gone to a game against the Chiefs in their stadium and won. The Chargers also, Brew, their season is on the line. And it's almost a lose-lose for the Chiefs, because if you lose, you lose. And if you win, they might fire Brandon Staley, which is then a loss for the Chiefs. And so, Listen, I believe the Chiefs are going to win the game, but I hate playing the Chargers. It's never a blowout. I hate
believe
it.
it.
They're weird games.
He does hate. Look, I've been
you've
at his
been-
house
you've been in my house
watching the
for 2 of the
Chargers
last
and
3
Chiefs.
years.
Yeah, and he left
hate
me
it.
alone in his house
Yeah.
to go walk around Harlem for an hour. I was just sitting
That
there
was
like,
after the 4th down. That was after the 4th down. My daughter came down. Who are you? It was a weird thing. Go ahead.
But look, Nick, they do play the Chiefs tough. There's no question about it. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have come down to, they've been decided by 6 points or less.
Yes.
So there's a little reason there, but I'm going to comfort you today.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Couple reasons you should feel good. One, there's been one guy on this set who's not wearing light blue or plaid.
Yeah. Tricky.
Who has sung the praises of Mecole Hardman all year.
Oh,
I've been mocked. Oh, he's no
100%
good. He
right.
can't get off the
You're 100%
field.
right.
He can't play. And lo and behold, they re-signed Mecole Hardman.
Oh, I hope he has a great
he
game.
might
Might
be your best receiver. So he'll be back. He might play this
No,
weekend.
they said he's gonna play.
He will play?
They said he's gonna play.
That's good. Number 2, as you know, I'm sure, the Chargers have the worst pass defense in the league.
Correct.
Yes.
Nick, I will say this, and maybe even if Mecole may be rusty, so it might not happen, but if your receivers have trouble getting open and you guys can't score against
nervous
the Chargers,
6-1 team.
I'm just saying, if they score 17, then I'd be a bit concerned against that defense. And here, look, I've thought about this because you are right that the Chargers give them problems. And I almost picked the Chargers to win this game. This was almost going to be my upset alert, but there were 2 words keeping me from doing it. Brandon Staley.
Man, you don't like
All
Brandon
right.
Staley.
No, I'm envisioning the Chargers up by 3 with a minute and a half left, and it's 4th and 12.
4th and 12?
From their own 6.
Okay, I don't think he would do
And
that,
Brandon
Brew.
Staley goes for
Okay,
it.
I don't think he
I mean, I'm just saying,
don't-
we've almost
fine.
seen that.
I-
all right, so look, he somehow, some way, Nick, he will make sure that your
Can I
Chiefs
ask you a
win that
question?
game.
If the Chiefs win and it's not a close game, say the Chiefs beat them by a couple scores, do you think this could be Staley's last game as the Chargers coach?
I think he somehow will probably make it through the season because I thought he should have got fired. I don't know.
Brew
a month
wanted
ago.
to fire him after a win
Yeah,
earlier
well,
this
it was
year.
the week before, but when they kept him, I was like, he still did it. He still went for a ridiculous 4th down, and I thought he should be fired
Patrick
even though they
Mahomes,
won.
can I show you the graph? Chiefs this season. Points per game, 10th, not great. 20 big plays, 16th.
Yeah.
Red zone touchdowns, 18th. Doesn't matter. Patrick Mahomes shows up. Practice is over. You've been saying, it's practice, practice, practice. It's test time against Justin Herbert. You're averaging 265 this year. Last year you threw for 309. He's ready to go.
Okay.
I know you're nervous, but he's ready to go.
I don't
you see
like
a blowout?
playing the Chargers.
Not a blowout, but Mahomes is going to be
Comfortable
Mahomes.
win. Okay.
Not this we're getting used
It'd
to
be
it. We're
good to see.
practicing. We're trying some stuff out. Oh, Shea. I'm like, no. It's go
Mecole's
time.
back.
Yeah.
All the
Cole's back.
It's true. You've been saying. Dolphins and Philly on Sunday night. Both 5-1. Miami coming off a 42-21 dismantling of Carolina. Eagles trying to bounce back from Jalen's 3 interceptions and a loss to the Jets. This will be Miami's first game against a top 10 rushing defense. We know they air it out. They're also number 1 on the ground. So now they finally play the Eagles, who say, you can't do it. Luckily, you can't throw against the Eagles, so figure that out. Who needs the win more? Brew, go.
Well, look, both teams really need this win psychologically. And people might say, Miami, why they've been blowing people out. I told you guys yesterday, I actually misquoted it. But I said, and I saw your eyebrows raised when I said it, the record of the teams they've beaten is 5-18. It's actually 5-24. So they really haven't beaten anybody.
This is which team?
Miami.
Miami.
So, and then the one time they actually played an elite team, they got blown to bits by 28 points against Buffalo. So I think for their own psyche and to show other people, they need to go out there and play well against an elite team. So I think psychologically for them. And then, of course, Philadelphia coming off a loss to a bad team, the Jets. You're at home, haven't really played well all year. But, and you may bring this up, Nick, because of the schedule that awaits the Eagles.
Yeah.
they need to win more. Just in practical terms, both of these teams will be fine, win or lose. But in practical terms, I mean, Washington, which is one of the teams that beat them last year, even though they're not that good, it's a division rival. They beat them last year with Hurts. They beat them with Hurts.
Their next 3 games are against teams that beat them last year.
Dallas. Okay, right. So Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle.
Tricky.
I mean, that is a
brutal.
murderer's row. So, yeah, they need to win.
I agree Philly needs it more also because they've just looked shakier than Miami has. They've said it themselves. We've said it. Well, the only thing you said that I kind of disagree with, not even disagree, I think Philly's wins are against almost as questionable opponents as Miami's. We can show you their schedules side by side. I mean, the Eagles have beaten the 1-win Patriots, the 2-win Vikings, the 3-win frisky Buccaneers, the Commanders, and the Rams. So it's not quite. I agree with you on the Miami side, but neither one of them has what I would call a marquee victory.
They could also have lost several of those.
And that's the other thing. Is those games were closer, and so I think Philly does need it more for the reasons Bruce said. I am, however, what I am so excited for about this game is you have each of these teams knows exactly how to win the game and who can get it done in this regard. Philly's back end cannot deal with Miami. Almost no one can, and it's Philly's biggest weakness. Right. But can Miami's offensive line deal with Philly's front? Because the one time Miami didn't move the ball like crazy, 2 has been sacked 6 times this year, 4 were in that Buffalo game. He was pressured a ton. So if Jalen Carter, who was limited in practice, missed last week, supposed to be back, if him, Fletcher Cox, those guys can get to Tua, this can be ugly for in Philly's direction. If the Miami O-line can hold up, Miami can absolutely hang 40 on these guys. If Tua has time, because they do not, where Miami lives is over that soft middle part of the field. That's where Philly's biggest weakness is in linebacking core and in secondary. So it's kind of like who can exploit the other team's weakness the most. That's what I'm most interested in.
If they get blown out,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia gets blown out, Howie Roseman's got to get on the phone and make some moves. Sorry. Julio Jones not getting it done, Dusty.
No, they
need more wide receivers.
Whether they get blown out or not, they need somebody exactly right. Maybe they'll be the team that trades for.
How to segment all sports. Upset alert next.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.